Holy shit. So I hurt my back just now. I sat down in the car and I felt a shift. My fucking back is killing me. But look, we got the PS5 Pro. Okay. It says 4K 120 HDR. Remember when that shit said 8K on the PS5 box? I still got my box and I think it said 8K, but if you buy a PS5 now, that's long been removed. But yeah, we got the PS5 Pro. It says Witness Play Unleashed. Okay. This is the back of it. Okay. Guys get a little glimpse of how the back looks. This is the side. This is ghetto unboxings, by the way. This is ghetto, super ghetto unboxings. That's the other side. It looked like that because I removed the sticker that had like my address and stuff like that. 2 terabytes. I was thinking about removing my 2 terabyte to put in here, but I don't know what type of SSD they have. It's probably faster, even though that one was super fast too. Also, this is the disc free. PS5 Pros are disc free. If you want to go ahead and buy a disc tray, that's $80 extra. But because they keep selling out, they're like reselling them for like $130 to $200. Everyone that keeps unboxing this, I'm gonna let you know wholeheartedly, I'm on the same boat as you. I don't know what the heck this is until like I see whatever it is. This is the plug outlet, of course, the plug cable, of course, the 2.1 HDMI. Make sure if you guys don't have multiple and you do like game recording, game capturing, to honestly get the full effect, I would highly suggest you get one of those 8K 60s, 4K 240, 1080p or 2.7K 120 hertz, like 240 hertz cables. So that is a HDMI 2.1. That way you get the best pass through, because if you keep using different pass throughs with your Elgato, you're gonna end up just messing yourself up, and some people may get the wrong cable. That's gonna result in like 4K 30. You don't want to do that. So that's that. Also the USB-C cable, of course. This is the PS5 DualSense Edge. We all know that controller, of course. DualSense Edge controller. You know what's crazy? My Treyarch symbol is like fading out of my tattoo. You know what I'm saying? That's actually funny as hell. But yeah, this is the DualSense. It feels mad. You know when you get a brand new controller, Jesus Christ. Now this right here is just plain Jane. There's nothing in the box other than like the instructions. But to keep it honest, unlike the PS4 Pro, which was like more bulkier, and I think the Xbox One X, it wasn't that it was bulkier, it was just more sleek looking. But the Pro version was way bigger, and it sounded like a jet engine too. But with the PS5 Pros, they look like the Slims, honestly, and it looks similar to it, and it's very small. It's actually, it looks way better than the PS5. It's because it's just small. It's just a smaller base. It's much longer. It's a smaller base, like that. Way smaller base, like super sleek, super small, and super duper compact. I like the design of it. I don't think it's a bad design. I think the design is pretty cool. You got the little letters right here: triangle, circle, X, square, whatever. If I said it incorrect, whatever. Screw you, your mama. Let me see. Bam. So it has that. Also, again, if you wanted to do the disc tray, you would just pop this bad boy off, pop the disc tray in, and pop the one that came with the PS5. But it's kind of crazy to see that there's no more disc-based PS5 Pros. They just went digital. I don't agree with that, simply because of the price point on it. And I've seen some of the reviews, they're saying it's not much of a difference. But of course, I buy it so that you don't have to. So that's gonna be the title. I bought the PS5 Pro so you don't have to. So let's put this bad boy to work. And over the next course of a few days, y'all gonna see a couple of videos. So, okay, so you just saw me unbox the PS5 Pro. It was a little ghetto, right? But it's okay. Now, let's talk about the PS5 Pro. In comparison to the PS5, we're gonna, answer a few questions. Who is this console for? Is it really that much of a difference? How do games run on it? And should you even purchase this? Because retail is $699 US plus tax $741.99. Okay, so you really ask yourself, who is this for? Now, before we get to these questions and before we answer them, like, let's break this console down. What makes it different from the PS5? So now the PS5, just some of the specs, just quickly, it has 16 gigs of RAM with like 512, I think, megabytes of like controller cache or some bullshit of RAM of GDDR5. Whereas the PS5 Pro has 16 gigs of GDDR6 with an additional 2 gigs of RAM of GDDR5 for, like, I guess, things that are unrelated to the gaming, to gaming in the system, which I think is a great thing, because that means they can utilize all 16 gigs for gaming. Okay. Now, I will tell you, the problem that we have is that unless you're playing a PlayStation exclusive, we don't know genuinely what games are out that can utilize or are utilizing all this power, because all these games are unoptimized, man. All these games that we have, even Black Ops 6 has 120 hertz mode, and when you enable it, that menu is still dog shit. Does not matter. Even Elden Ring frame dips, it can't even hit 60 consistently. So I did want to give a disclaimer about that earlier because of that, you know what I mean? So like some games you couldn't really see the potential. You might see the color pops and the contrast, but due to how bad these games be releasing, you can't expect a console with pre-made designs without you going in and toggling some features to fix it be the answer to fix all those problems. That's not going to happen. Okay, that's the drawback between console and PC. Now with the PS5 Pro, you also have 2 terabytes of hard drive space SSD, which I think is phenomenal, because outside of the PS5 box, you had got 1 terabyte, and when you actually turn that bitch on, it had 876 gigs, if I'm not mistaken. That was ass. Okay, that was ass out the jump, and you had to buy an external, like either an external or like I guess an extra SSD just to play your damn games. PS5 Pro has PSSR, which is basically like DLSS. Now it has the fidelity, the pro enhanced modes, also the performance modes, but for the most part, it can target and hit 4K 120, even with ray tracing on. And then they have like one mode where it can hit ray tracing, all aspects of ray tracing. And that's where you see it in Spider-Man 2. Whereas the PS5, it had like, you had to choose between modes, and one of them would have to play out at 30 frames per second, having ray tracing, or you would take that off and put it on like performance mode or something like that. So it's good to see that you can see some of them huge enhancements, them huge changes over the PS5, and see that there's a graphical increase. You can definitely see it on the PS5 Pro. But is it to the point where it's like, oh my God, groundbreaking? Like you're going from like a 2070 over to a 4090? Not so much, but it's still impressive to see on God of War, Horizon Remastered, The Last of Us Part 1 Remastered, or even The Last of Us 2 Remastered, and so on and so forth, etc., etc. While most of the games were hitting like 60 frames and dipping, and even if you would have VRR, variable refresh rate on the PS5, the PS5 Pro can hit a lot of the games at that frame rate, as long as these games are optimized for the console, right? As long as it's optimized, it can hit 4K 120 any day. Okay, there is also a feature on the PS5 Pro which enables enhanced for the PS4 games. So if you download any PS4 games, you can enhance some of the quality of them. So it may not be a crazy jump, but it might add some sharpness, some color pops, even increase a little bit of the frames. So if you guys do get this console, download some of your PS4 games, and you can probably notice a little bit of an increase, maybe more smooth experience. And that's a feature that I didn't even know that existed in the damn console, because no one talked about it when all the specs came out. The PS5 Pro comes with Wi-Fi 7. About time we have some good Wi-Fi, because the Xbox kills PlayStation when it comes down to downloading your games. I'm telling you right now, the PlayStation has always sucked when it comes down to downloading games. Although my experience, I can still download games fast. The Xbox Series X is far more elite. But with Wi-Fi 7, there's an increase, there's a boost in it. So I love seeing it, and I love the fact that now my games were downloading like this. All that performance was good. That welcome boost was insane. Now, some of the drawbacks though from this console is diskless. It comes with no tray for $700. It comes with no disc tray. You have to buy it for $80 separate. And because it keeps selling out, people are reselling it for almost $200, $150. So like, you don't know when you're gonna get a damn disc tray for retail price at 80 bucks. So that's one of my biggest drawbacks. And also, one of the main drawbacks was the games don't look that far off from the PS5 version. Again, I understand it has 45% extra GPU boost, but it doesn't show it. Like I'm not seeing it. Some of the games aren't performing as crazy extra, you know, over the PS5. You still see some dips, and you do see some good quality color pops and contrast, and frame rate seems to be a little bit more smoother. However, like I keep saying, if these games release like dog shit, no console's gonna fix that dog shit. The devs need to fix their own game. So 2K runs well, college football runs great, Call of Duty ran like dog shit, and it got enhanced mode on it. It just runs like shit. The Last of Us Part 1 remastered just runs phenomenal. Horizon runs phenomenal. A lot of those games do look beautiful, but if you're gonna ask, is it worth purchasing a PS5 Pro over the PS5? I'll say this. If you have a PS5 and you have a monitor that can run over 165 hertz or even 240 hertz, and it's 4K, it got all those good juicy features, I would say, you know what? If you have the money, give it a try so that you can maximize your experience. But honestly, you don't see so much of a difference. I plugged it into my LG, my gaming TV, and it looks beautiful just like it did on the PS5. And yes, you notice there's some noticeable differences, but is it so much that's gonna warrant an extra $240? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Who does this console belong to, or who is it for? It's for the person who want to have like a little cool fun flex. They put it in their setup, might have a theater system, might have a gaming TV, and may want to have those experiences when they have their friends come over and just have that extra punch to their setup. It doesn't seem like the average at-home console to just play a game, because to be honest, if you have a 1080p monitor or a 1440p monitor, why are you buying this? For the extra RAM that you probably don't even know if the shit's being used, because some of these games are so badly optimized, it's probably not utilizing the power. That's my honest truth. Is it worth the purchase? Yes and no. More no, because I feel like it's not such a crazy difference. Yes, it looks, I love how it looks. It's sleek, it's very light, it's not as heavy. It got a nice cool design to it, but it's not as crazy of a difference from the PS5. Just like with the PS4 Pro, that jet engine ass console, I call it Starscream. Fucking the PS4 and the PS4 Pro, you notice some differences, but man, all of PlayStation Studios games, they were killing it. They knew how to utilize the hardware, so their games look beautiful regardless. It's the same thing here. So hopefully, maybe like if somebody, you know, doesn't buy this console and they wait for GTA 6, absolutely. But right now, I just don't know if it's worth to be in anyone's hands for that price point. It's just too expensive. And again, it is a powerful console, but there's not that much games dropping to showcase that power outside of the games that we already got. And we don't even know if they're utilizing full power because you don't know such a significant difference. Don't get me wrong, some games look fantastic. Some color pops look amazing. And sidebar, I want to say this with full arms, with the genuinity of my heart. Fuck HDR. I don't like HDR. That pink bullshit look whack. All them colors, and you have to increase the color get that shit out of here. I don't like HDR, bro. I don't like HDR. Maybe it's because it's a hassle when you're recording, you're doing content, but even on my gaming TV, my QLED, OLED, whatever, I see the colors and cool, but I don't need HDR, man. But I'm just giving you guys my honest opinion on it. Hopefully, you know, we see some significant changes, some updates to some of these games to where, or a game being only developed on the PS5 Pro and PS5. And because to be honest, man, they're still dropping games on the PS4. So we're not seeing this being utilized. If you're going to make us spend $700 on a non-customizable console, and you're going to try to compare this to PC, you're going to have to drop a game exclusive to just this, where they're utilizing all the power. Then we can sit here and say, nah, this is worth 700. But right now, I don't think y'all should spend y'all 700. Maybe the holidays, you might get it for like 6, maybe 550, you know, a good deal. Maybe 1,000 with a TV. I don't know, something. But I would say, I'll be a lab rat. You may not have to purchase it right now. Games do look beautiful, but are they as beautiful? Like, are they that crazy of a difference? It's really up to you guys. It's all preference, but I'll let you guys decide in the comment section below. I love y'all. God bless everyone, and stay tuned. I'm doing some digital foundry type shit. I'm be doing some crazy videos, okay, just to show you guys, okay? But I love y'all. God bless everyone, and I'll see y'all soon in the next video. Peace.